Hi, and welcome to a youthful edition of The Wellness of Being. I'm your host, Brad Poirier. Today we have somebody who I think has found the fountain of youth. If you're worried about aging, if you're worried about, just getting older, but you don't want to do all the needles, all the medications, all the things to look younger, all the creams, lotions, potions, everything, our guest today, Jennifer, has something exciting for you. So I want to say thank you, Jennifer, for coming and being a guest on The Wellness of Being. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you so much, Brad.
So I think what you have, we'll keep the audience in suspense for a couple of minutes, but I just want to talk to you a little bit first, kind of about your background. So we'll dive in, and what's your background?
So I'm a medical esthetician and reflexologist.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
So then how did this so what made you decide that, hey, I want to be an esthetician, and not just an esthetician, but a medical esthetician?
Well, actually, when I was a teenager, I was the spottiest kid in school. So I was really looking for something to help me with my acne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way. I think we all, find there's a need, and you find that niche, and you're probably saying, this is what I'm looking for. It's going to help me. I can help others.
Yes.
With the same thing. And there has to be that turning point in your life when, the bulb goes on and says, this is my passion. This is where I want to go. So initially, because you were looking on your journey, was it more about helping yourself, or was it a little bit more expanded and said, if I can treat my own acne, then can I help, others as well?
Absolutely, yes. That's exactly what happened. I started down a path to figure out how I could help, because even into adulthood, I still had that acne. It was still coming along with me.
Yeah, but when you find as an adult, even there's adults like 35 plus that are still getting acne.
Yes.
And I think that's a common problem now, and I think a lot with rosacea and different things like that people think, you only get your pizza face or whatever names you get called. But when you're a teen, that's most times, or puberty, when people think that's when it starts happening and stuff like that. But if we go to acne a little bit, kind of what causes it? Is it diet? Is it stress? What's the major causes usually?
Yes, so absolutely, both of those are it. I found that through my journey to help clear up my acne, it was a two-step process. Okay. It was really from the outside in, and of course from the inside out.
Yeah.
So you had to work on both of those, and then it greatly improved.
And just one other thing, Jennifer, you're not only a medical esthetician, but you're also a woman, number one, but you're also an entrepreneur,
yes,
which is exciting as well. Yes. So, that must be a big step in life where you say, I'm not going to work for somebody else. I'm going to create my own, and I'm going to work for myself. So tell the audience and myself a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, so that's fun too. As I was studying, I realized, or actually it goes right back to childhood.
Sure, let's go way back.
I knew instinctively when I was a child that I would own my own business. I just had that feeling of that knowing at some point. And so then, yes, as I started to study different things, one thing leads to another, and that's when I decided that I needed to start my own business, and so that's what I did.
So having your own business, did you know it would be in the field that you're in now, or you just said, I know I'm going to be a businesswoman, but you didn't really have a clear picture of what that was going to be at that time?
That's right. I had no clear picture. I actually, my first profession was in industrial mechanical engineering.
Oh, okay.
So
wow.
I did a one.
That's a big...
As women do, they often transform.
Yeah, but I think on your journey, that's something you really need to do, because at least if you're stepping forward in some direction, you're going to know, yes, this is for me, or no, it isn't. But either way, it's going to tell you if you're moving in the right direction.
Yes.
Like sort of thing. But you also not only had your own business, but you also became an inventor, creator as well.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
Yeah, so as I was going through my, rebirth and starting with a medical esthetician, through that process, I still had the acne, so I was still looking for something to help me clear it up.
Okay.
And that's when I started to create my own line of skincare. So initially, the outside in came in first with my 11 line.
Yes.
And then just recently, I created the inside out part.
Of course, and I think you need the balance of both, but I think you're probably like most. When you have acneic skin, it's very tough when you're going to, the store and you're looking at the shelves and you see 5% this, 10% that, and you don't really know what it does to you. So I'm probably looking, a lot of this stuff either is one ineffective or probably just dries your skin right out. So how did you find that it kind of reacted to your own skin when you were looking, when you were on that journey saying, I need to do something, I can't live with acne, I'm not a teen anymore, and now I still have acne, and you're in the store, you're purchasing different products, like how stressful, or what kind of thing was it for you that said, I need to do something about this, I'm tired of trying things, or what were your own reactions to, like your skin reactions from the products that you had tried?
Exactly. Well, that was the thing. I did try a lot of different lines, and they just were not helping. So that's when I thought, I guess I got to try something on my own. And I started to take the courses and learn about the ingredients, and really wanted a holistic approach to skincare.
Yes.
And so that is really when I started to create my own line. So it is very skin healing.
Okay, yes. So is your line geared towards just acneic skin, or do you have a different range of products, or you have an isolated, because I know some people have a unique line, they have only so many products, but the products that they have is basically everything you need.
Yes, and that's it. I have 11 products, so each product has 11 ingredients in it.
Yes.
Yeah. And so when I found that I started to use my own line of skincare, it balanced my skin out.
Okay.
I thought I always had oily skin, which I didn't.
Yes.
So it balanced my skin out. The acne went away, and that's when I knew that I could share it with the world.
So with that, did you kind of learn as you were training, or did you have a lot of like trial and error?
When I was making the products?
Yeah, when you're first making them.
Yeah, there was definitely the trial and error. And then what was kind of happening is during the night I would get answers, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does, yeah. It would just come to you in a dream, or you just a knowing maybe and stuff like that. Hey, boom.
Absolutely.
A little epiphany happens and you're like, yeah, I should use this. Oh, I should put that in, and you give it a try and things like that. Because I think the toughest thing is when you're producing your own stuff is a balance of ingredients. Number one, what ingredients to use, and then number two, how much of that ingredient to use or not to use.
Absolutely.
In some cases and stuff like that. So if we do the breakdown, so if you have 7 different products, what are the 7 that are in your line?
Yep, so I have a beautiful clay cleanser, I have a toner, then of course I have your day cream, a serum, and a night cream, and then I have my Dr. K, which is my acne cream.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that was created after I met a beautiful naturopathic doctor out in Arizona.
Oh, awesome. I love Arizona.
Yeah, so do I.
It's so great there. So what would the clay do for an individual using it? What are the benefits of clay?
Yeah, so that I put into my clay cleanser. It's a Bohemian black clay.
Okay, yeah.
So it is very detoxifying for the skin. So you just put a nice little, it's a cleanser, so you would put a pump on, cleanse your face, and then let it sit for just a little bit so that Bohemian black clay gets into your skin.
So you can kind of let it dry. So it's almost like a mini mask or something like that.
Well, it won't dry, but you can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it stays moist.
Yep. Okay. And then you can just wash it off. But so in that it has the Bohemian black clay, but it has things like pineapple extract and coconut oil. So
and those are wonderful because I know with using pineapple is a great exfoliator.
Yes.
And things like that. The enzyme in it, same with papaya and things like that. But the same with coconut. Coconut is amazing for moisture, for reducing wrinkles, for hydrating, for getting those good oils onto your skin. I find with the coconut oil, it tends to be not a greasy oil. It tends to absorb right into the skin, so it's a lot better. It helps kind of pump it up a little bit and stuff like that, and it also smells great, and you can eat it too.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
I don't know if you can eat your products, but
you can eat it. You can eat the whole line. It just won't taste good.
No, of course. But and that's the way it is. And as I say, it's nice to have the balance. And same when you decided on 7, what made you decide just those 7, or you like that combination of the 7 and the 11 ingredients? So with choosing the 11 ingredients, did they just come to you, or through study you said these would be the top ones that that would be good?
Yes, so I knew that I wanted to make a line with 11 ingredients in it, because 11 is a very powerful spiritual number for me. So that came first, and then the ingredients, like for instance, in my night cream, I put the alpha hydroxy acids in. It's an amazing ingredient for your skin, but can make your skin a bit more sensitive to the sun. So that's why the alpha hydroxy went in the night cream. So as I was making each product, a thought was, what was I going to put in, and the reason why.
Well, of course. And with your line, is it good for anyone, or is it specific? Well, obviously, the one with the K in it is definitely for acneic skin. But the rest of your line, can that be used for anybody, or someone with acne, could they use your whole line, or they're better with your Dr. K?
No, they can absolutely use the whole line. I have no, I don't have different lines. I just have the one, and it absolutely is good across the board.
And I guess too, if it's balancing out the skin, putting in the nutrients the skin needs, it's also hydrating it, but also with the clay, pulling out impurities and things like that. You're getting a nice balance kind of all the way, all the way around. So we've talked a little bit about the outer. Let's kind of go to the inner. So we have some products here. So this is something you developed. So before we show them, I just kind of want to kind of get, as an entrepreneurial woman, from having the idea to getting it made to seeing the package, kind of what was that journey? So if, because it's not like you just have the idea and boom, there it is in front of you. There must be a journey involved from point A to point B to get it, the packaging, to get the labeling, to get the ingredients, to get everything right. I don't imagine you're kind of in your basement, stirring a pot and things like that. So tell us about the journey, so you've already covered the outside of the skin. Now we're working on the inside. So I notice you have some charts here as well, because obviously, from us discussing this a little bit prior, it's not necessarily the epidermis, which is the top layer of the skin. It works on the dermis, which is the layer underneath that. So if you can kind of show us your chart there, that'd be amazing to go and kind of just explain the layers of the skin and kind of where they're at and stuff like that.
So the epidermis is, of course, the outer layer of the skin, and that's where your products, like your creams and your lotions and potions, that's where they work. The dermis layer is your second layer of skin, which produces the collagen and the elastin, which is the thickness or the support of our skin.
So for those that don't know, what does collagen and elastin do? So
it actually provides the support of our skin and helps to prevent or to slow down where the deeper wrinkles start to form. It's in that second layer of skin where the deeper wrinkles start to form. And so the beauty of my next product is collagen is greatly affected by the amount of plant nutrients or antioxidants that we consume, and they come from fruits and veggies.
Awesome. Because I guess it's much better to have a natural as opposed to something chemically made or factory made or that sort of thing, or synthetic, where I think a natural would probably absorb much better into the skin and be more accepted by the skin than something that's very toxic. That if they put it on, it still gets absorbed because your skin is the largest organ. But having something natural that can do that, but I guess too, because you're working internally with this, you're not putting it on topically, so it's working from the inside out.
Absolutely. So it's helping that second layer of skin where the collagen production is happening. And as I said, collagen production is greatly affected by the amount of plant nutrients or antioxidants that we consume. So that's exactly why I made Skin R&R.
So because it's the second layer, with your first layer, the epidermis, is it beneficial if people exfoliate their top layer of their skin?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. The thing though with your skin is you do want to be gentle with it. A lot of people want to be rough, especially if they do have that acneic skin. But always be gentle with it.
Well, of course. And I think people rub and they almost take it off and they're red and they're like, it's like, I think they remove some skin. And you're exactly right. You want to gently exfoliate and things like that, because obviously if you're doing something too heavy duty, that's going to make you more sun sensitive and things like that, especially if you're not using any type of protectant, in the sun.
Yeah.
So let's jump in. So tell us about your product, and we're gonna. Okay, so you're I don't know, at home or wherever you are, and you're like, okay, I need to do something. I've done the external.
Yeah.
Now the internal, and you're thinking, okay, 11:11, the doors are opening.
That's right. Yeah, so I was literally out on a walk in nature when the idea for Skin R&R came bombing into my head.
Yes.
And I was running back to my studio with ideas of how to get this started.
Yes.
And that's really what happened. I sat down at the computer and well, first of all, I need to figure out where I source my ingredients.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Secondly, I need to find out, a packaging and a scoop size, or am I going to put it in pill format, or is it going to be in powder format? So as I started that journey, and then I knew I needed to get a natural product number, and so that took me about a year, but I did get that through Health Canada.
So did you find when you were putting it together, there's a lot of things you didn't know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You're like, okay, do I need that?
Yeah.
Or can I do that? Or how do I do that? Or how do I get, because obviously when we open up the package, you can show us what form you chose, whether it's powder, whether it's liquid, whether it's capsule, we'll find out, and why you decided to go that way. But when you were kind of sourcing, you know what I mean, and diving in. So maybe we'll dive in actually right now.
Okay.
And we'll kind of show. So your product's called Skin R&R.
Yeah.
So obviously the R&R is for...
Yep, rejuvenation, nourish, and replenish.
Of course, and as long as your skin is going to be more relaxed and more elastic and have more collagen. So if we kind of open it up just for the audience here, and we can show them there, and then maybe even, hey, can we try some?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll have a little party.
Yeah.
So we're gonna mix some up.
Yeah. So it's really super easy. I did decide to go into a powder format.
Okay. Yes.
So it is 11 fruits and veggies.
Oh wow.
In powder format. And I did that so it would be very easy to add to a juice or to a water or to a smoothie.
Okay, so how does it work?
Yeah, so you just very simply, I added about a cup of of apple juice, but you can add it, like I said, to really much anything that you prefer.
Okay, so you can even use water if you like, if you don't want juice. Any kind of juice is fine, or could you even add it to a smoothie?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, perfect.
If you're making a smoothie in the morning, just add a scoop.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. You just add it like that.
Yeah.
If you don't have a shaker, you don't have to have a shaker, but if you do shake it up, it mixes a little bit better.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so as we wrap up, we'll shake her quickly.
Okay.
And then let's give this a try.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to have younger, more youthful youthful skin.
Beautiful.
Yep, there we go.
There we go.
And then we'll do one for you.
Awesome.
And then perfect.
Okay.
So there we go. So we'll try this.
You can do a
So cheers. So Skin R&R. Wow, that's so good.
Isn't it good?
It's like really good.
Awesome.
I was expecting some kind of green drink that's like,
Yeah.
But it's awesome. So I want to say thank you for joining, and we'll be right back after the break.
Only 3 days to the Royal Cotillion. Everybody wants me to be this lady of the court, and I have no idea how to keep up the act. I don't belong here. Belle's gone back to the aisle. I'm back. Losing? Not an option, because we're rotten to the core.
Hello, I'm Liz Dowdswell, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. In 2008, carbon monoxide, a deadly invisible gas, killed an entire family in our province. That tragedy led to a new law requiring homes with potential CO sources to have alarms. John Gignac's family members passed away that day, and he shares his story to save others.
Please make sure you have working CO alarms in your home. Protect your family today.
The following program is brought to you by Rogers Anyplace TV. Enjoy exclusive content for free. Visit RogersAnyplaceTV.com.
Welcome back to The Wellness of Being. I'm Brad Poirier, your host. So we talked about the outside in and then the inside out. Well, now with our next guest, we're going to talk about holistic nutrition. So I want to welcome you, Catherine, to the show.
Thank you very much, Brad. Thanks for having me.
So with what you do, you're a holistic nutritionist. How is that different from a regular nutritionist?
So holistic is you're looking really at the person as a whole. So you're really looking at reading the body. So if you have symptoms that are coming up, if you've got certain conditions that you're dealing with, what is going on as a whole person biochemically, because we are all biochemically different. And with a dietitian, you know, and they're amazing. They've got a lot of knowledge as well. And a lot of that is based on, for instance, the Canada Food Guide. And so when a holistic nutritionist will look at a diet, we're looking more for inflammatory responses that the body's giving. And there could be certain foods, although they're on a guide, may not work well with that individual.
Oh, with your body, yes.
So it's really reading the body and seeing the inflammatory signals that it might be giving off and making some changes. And then also just allowing your body to do the healing that it's meant to do.
So let's go back a little bit. So we're going to dive in and let's get a little bit of background and let's know a little bit more about Catherine.
Okay. So I've been doing this now for 6.5 years as a holistic nutritionist. So I went back to school after 25 years to get my diploma in holistic nutrition. And really a lot of it stemmed from personal experience. So growing up, I had allergies. When I worked for an airline, I was on 3 inhalers.
Oh, wow.
I had inflammatory asthma.
Yeah.
I had, you know, my own personal journey, and I found a naturopathic doctor, and I was totally blown away. I found the naturopathic doctor after my mom had passed away from inflammatory breast cancer, and I really questioned a lot of things.
Yes.
I wanted to know why we weren't asking her what she was eating, and why, you know, she didn't have the immune system to fight off anything. And she died too young. She was only 58. And so when I had my children, I really thought, you know, if they get a cold, there has to be a reason. And so my biggest thing was, why are these things happening? And I started to delve into it. We lived, in Colorado for 4 years, and that's when I started looking into holistic. And when I came back to Canada, it was really not until 2008 that I went back to school. So it's been a long journey, but I finally took the plunge and I left the jobs that I had. I loved my jobs, but it wasn't where my passion was. I really enjoyed learning about how the body heals. I saw success in my own family. With my kids, my husband, we rarely, if any prescriptions in our house. And I didn't take Tylenols or Advils or anything for that. So I really wanted to learn more and delve into it. And that's when I went back to school. And so I just love it.
Yeah, because I think the big thing is, well, having a family too, and also having someone that you love very dearly die at a very young age. Yeah. It really makes a big difference. And to dive deeper, and I guess a lot of people go, like you say, you don't have any kind of, you know, stuff for headaches and things like that, and that's what most people do. They run to I've got a headache, I have a migraine, I'm going to run to the cabinet, I'm just going to get something out of the medicine cabinet. But you know yourself, it's only a Band-Aid solution.
Exactly.
It's not really going to get anything at the source, but probably the headache itself is probably related to something else.
Well, a lot of it's dehydration. If you take the pill to put the Band-Aid over it, the pain is still going on underneath.
Yes.
It may just from the surface seem like it's gone. But if you're mineral deficient or vitamin deficient or your hydration is deficient, you're still going to get another headache.
Yeah, right? And I think that's what it is. A lot of people are so dehydrated, but they don't know they are.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or I guess they think, well, I just have constant headaches, but they don't think I should drink, or they think, well, I had water in my coffee. Well, I had water in my, well, I think isn't that just making your body more dehydrated.
Well, yeah, caffeine
and the caffeine doesn't really help either,
right.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I guess there's a lot of, because I really think what you do is probably one of the things that are at the core of us as a being, because nutrition, I think, encompasses everything, because nutrition will affect your brain, your thoughts, your, you know, if you have depression, the same sort of thing, energy levels.
Yeah, exactly.
Like probably joint and body pain.
Totally.
Probably can be related to that. Excess weight, you know, a lot of things. And one other thing I want to talk about that I think a lot of people have, or maybe they don't have, is candida.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can kind of elaborate what candida is,
Sure.
what it does to you, what does it feed on, and how can we, like, clear it up?
Okay, all right. So, well, Candida albicans is a fungus. It's naturally found in the body. And what I learned, which was actually through personal experience, you know, I love sugar.
Oh, yes.
And I really loved sugar. It
was your best friend.
It was my best friend. You know, and I actually had, now when I look back, I was addicted to sugar. And the thing with Candida is it actually proliferates in the body. So a lot of women are treated with yeast infections.
Yes.
Only a certain area of the body. And the thing is, Candida can proliferate everywhere, including the brain. So when you have sugar cravings, or when you're eating a lot of refined carbohydrates with lacking in fiber, higher glycemic load rather than the lower glycemic load, you're actually feeding that. So even with fermentation, fermentation will also help feed it, the sugar. So when you're starting any kind of a cleanse and you're trying to rid your body of Candida, it's, you know, it can be very trying for a lot of individuals because they think, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to manage? You don't realize how often you're relying on, say, that toast or that cookie to get you through a day. And when you remove it from your body, I usually put my clients on a 2-phase protocol.
Okay, yes.
And there is some supplemental support only in that you may need to clean the blood, so chlorophyll in water. Okay, so that kind of thing. There may be a probiotic involved. If the Candida is quite extensive, then we may have to put something in there that is going to obviously kill off anything that's starving is going to be in your bloodstream. You want to rid your body of it. So
what would a symptom or symptoms be like for somebody that may have Candida?
So one of the key things is the low energy, the cravings, weight gain. Could be low libido. It can be shakiness. So again, you're getting a little dizzy because maybe you're eating too many sugars. You're not incorporating good fats and good proteins in the diet. Main thing can also be just skin. You know, you can have some skin flare-ups that are showing up as well. One of the key things too I tell my clients is when you wake up in the morning, look at your tongue in the mirror and see if there's a white coating on there. Chances are you have.
That you have it. So I guess a lot of people that are looking wouldn't even notice. And I think probably a lot of people that come to you, most times they don't think it's a nutritional issue. They probably just think, well, I'm getting older. So this is part of getting older.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I believe, and I know this to be true, is as you get older, there's no reason why you can't have that zest, you know, zest for life and that health and energy and really feel good. You know, I think when people get to that point of feeling good and then they slip up a little, because we all have our, you know, the 80-20 rule. You're going to know, oh my goodness, I don't feel so good. I'm going to go back to the way I was
and it's the same, because obviously, I mean, you could probably practice what you preach. I mean, maybe family meals. I don't know if your kids love what you make, but sometimes when you're helping them make better choices, but you yourself, you're full of energy, full of vitality, you're very exuberant.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? So you can tell that you live what you know, what you're helping other people, you know, what other people with. And it's kind of good to know, because there's also things that with the proper diet, and I think that's what people, I think diet is a probably overused word.
It is.
You know what I mean?
I don't like that.
Because everybody thinks a diet is, but obviously I think you assist people probably in healthier choices and things like that. Doing I guess depending on what they come for. So if somebody was coming to you, what are some of the most common things they would come to a holistic nutritionist for?
Okay, so predominantly, again, I do see a lot of women in my practice, and I do have male clients that come in and teenagers for sports nutrition and that. But you know, mainly weight loss is a key thing. But when you start going in through a client intake, and you have a food diary filled out, and you're analyzing a few things, and you're going through health conditions, it can run a lot deeper. So anything from type 2 diabetes, heart conditions, you know, you're getting into high blood pressure, high cholesterol, that kind of thing. So it's a full intake. It's body composition that I do. It's really teaching. I have an education component each time I see the client, because I want them to know physiologically what's going on in the body, not just me giving them, you know, requirements. You need to do this, but they don't understand why. And so it's really owning your journey.
Well, I think that's the way to have the best relationship with somebody you're working with, that they know that you know exactly what you're talking about. Not, here, take this, grab this prescription, you know, and do this, and then nothing more of that. Take it 3 times a week, you know, or whatever it might be, that you're really in their well-being. That so if I were to come and see you, what would a typical first visit be like?
So a first visit, an initial consultation, is an hour. Now I do offer, if people are unsure of what a holistic nutritionist is, or if we're going to jive, you know, 20-minute complimentary health and energy assessment I do, just to give a baseline, and I give them 3 personalized nutrition tips so that they can leave the office with something. The initial consultation is an hour, and then they have an option to choose packages. I really feel that when clients just do a one-off, they're not feeling like they've learned anything or gotten any goal. So I have 3 sessions, 5 sessions, 10 sessions, and I run a Zest for Life program, which is a more streamlined program with actual meal plans. It's also in a group setting as well as personalized, so I can really streamline that too.
Because I think that's amazing in that people can go, it's streamlined for them, because I think, I mean, one session for anybody, we all know what we're like at home. Like, you get all the stuff, but then how many of actually implement and things like that, where I think probably doing it as a group, you have support of the other people, and then too, doing the one-on-one, so if somebody's having a little bit more difficulty, they can consult with you to help them, you know, stay on track sort of thing, to whatever their nutritional needs are, or whatever they're looking for, into, you know, why they're seeking you and stuff like that. I mean, there's so much with nutrition, and I really believe personally nutrition's at the core of our being. Because without nutrition and the proper nutrition, that we can't function normally.
Well, you are what you eat, right?
Of course, and that's what it is. And a lot of it is basically, you know, I mean, say your thought process, and people are like, why do I have brain fog? Why do I have no energy? Why do I have headaches all the time?
They're not feeding the brain.
And even to somebody to go to say, you need to hydrate, and then boom, you know, light goes on. But I think, and that's the thing, a lot of us are probably underhydrated, where we don't think we have enough water, and people are like, I just don't like water. I don't like the way it tastes.
And you can infuse it. You can do fruit infusions, you can do herb infusions, you know, there's ways that, and you know, even a slice of watermelon the odd time has a high content of water, or cucumber. And if you infuse your water with that, is really good. If you're having caffeine-free teas, that's also water.
So if you wanted to hydrate your body and you didn't really like water, could you also eat a lot of wet foods, or you can explain what those are? So
your fruits and vegetables have water in them. So that's why it's so important to eat hearty and whole foods every day. 2 servings of fruit a day. Your plate, half of your plate full of non-starchy vegetables also gives you a lot of water.
So what would the non-starchy look like for people that don't know? So obviously a white potato would be
a white potato is high in starch. A sweet potato is lower in starch. Brown rice is obviously a lower starch than white rice. But you're looking for broccolini, onions, garlic, broccoli, cauliflower, romaine lettuce, spinach, collard greens, beets, all of those things, you know, that you really do fill the body up with a lot of fiber. And when you have fiber and water, you actually will release the toxins from your body.
Because I think you need to do that more. The more fiber intake you have, the more water intake you need to move that fiber along. Otherwise, it just expands.
It expands.
You know what I mean? And obviously, too, there's probably, as you know, there's soluble and insoluble fiber, where one will expand and one goes through.
Right. You want the scrubby, the scrubbies in there as well, and that kind of fiber. Yeah.
And I think that's it, because I think a lot of the people, weight loss is probably one of the big things you deal with a lot of people that they come into a nutritionist for. So is it always what they eat, or is it something else?
What you eat is the key thing to getting started. And then we look at a little bit of the psychology of eating. Sometimes there's the thought that if I eat, I am going to put on weight, so I won't eat, but then you're starving your brain. So there's a host of things that you have to address. So good mood and food, nutrient deficiencies or excesses, the types of foods that you're consuming. Are you consuming enough carbohydrates that are rich in fiber? Are you consuming good proteins, and are you consuming good fats? So when you go through the food diary, and you also go through, like, I'll ask a client to give me what's in their fridge and their pantry, and we'll create a meal. So when they go home, they can actually create something from it.
Yeah, because I think you probably have a lot of clients that come in that say, yes, I eat healthy, and they think they have a lot of good foods, but they really aren't.
Right, but and again, it's what we're taught in some cases. They may say, well, I don't have coffee, but I have a tea, which is still caffeine. In fact, it's higher caffeine in a lot of cases. And they have a piece of whole grain toast. And they have peanut butter. Well, peanut butter is an omega-6. It's a little more inflammatory. So switching to almond butter, trying to switch off the bread, trying to incorporate, if they eat eggs, incorporating that, or a good low glycemic porridge, good rolled oats.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people need, because especially with porridge, I mean, the oats themselves are high in fiber, and things like that, and just something to kind of just start your day and things like that. But I guess, too, if you don't like straight porridge, you could probably add some berries, add some nuts, and just things like that, or just kind of put it in and that sort of thing. And also too, you deal with hormone health as well. So is that something that's very common for you? So we're just going to wrap up quickly.
Sure.
But just if you want to give some final kind of maybe words of wisdom, things like that.
All right. So from a hormone perspective, your hormone along with so hormones can be everything from blood sugar to stress hormones to anti-aging hormones, and that's really key in what I do. When I do see a lot of women for weight loss, hormones are a factor. Thyroid hormone, a lot of them have sluggish thyroid. And so speaking as a woman in my 50s, I really do believe that it's important that we address exercise, we address nutrition, we address sleep, we address attitude, we address all of those things.
Exactly. Well, thank you for coming, Catherine.
Thanks for having me, Brad.
I'm so glad that you came. I want to say thank you for watching, and we'll be right back after the break.
SESQUICENTENNIAL. How do you say that? Sequentennial?
Sasquatchcentennial.
Sesquicentennial.
Sequential. No, I can't. No, I can't even say it.
Sesquicentennial.
Sesquicentennial?
It's a sequicentennial, right?
Say it for me. Oh my goodness.
Sesquicentennial.
Happy sesquicentennial.
Sesquicentennial.
Happy Sesquicentennial, Canada. Or I would say Buon compleanno, Canada.
What kind of show do you want to see on Rogers TV? What interests you? Log on to rogerstv.com, fill out a show proposal, and tell us about your segment idea. We want to know what you want to see. Rogers TV, only on Rogers.
Welcome back to The Wellness of Being. I'm Brad Poirier, your host. Today we've been talking all about food, nutrition. So now with our next guest, Diane, she's a raw food chef. So I want to say welcome, Diane, and welcome to the show. So that's exciting. So we hear chefs about a kitchen and they're always cooking, but here you're a raw chef. So tell us a little bit about that.
We don't need the heat. We have a lot of heat, especially this past summer. Yeah, so we prepare our food really with basic kitchen items. Would be the blender, food processor, and a dehydrator.
Oh, awesome. So give me a little bit about your background, Diane, kind of how you got into it, where you came from. Did you do something else before becoming a raw food chef?
Well, I am a regular mom. I am a music teacher. I'm a performer. Have always been interested in health. So I'm looking at what can I do to ensure that I'm eating healthy and I have the energy to keep up with my kids. And I've taken a lot of courses and training, and I recently did a raw food chef's course, and I've learned tons of really fun things, easy things that used to be intimidating to me, but now just seem to flow more natural.
That's amazing. You're a singing chef.
I am.
So maybe we'll get a little more about a musical interlude for you guys here. So where was the moment when the passion happened? Was it basically you were led into becoming a raw food chef, or you said, or just, I love cooking?
I don't love cooking.
No.
I find it a lot of work because when you have a family, you're having to prepare 3 meals a day. I've just been looking for ways to eat healthier, and it's funny, things sort of lead. Once you get involved a little bit and you learn something, you connect with a network of other people, you learn more skills. So it really just evolved for me, and it is now a passion for me because I've realized that it's really not that hard. I think a lot of us are intimidated to eat healthier because it seems like it's going to be a lot of work. And if we can look at it as, don't take things away from your diet, but instead let's find things that you can add to it. And little by little, you start making changes. And then years later, you end up someone like me who's now more passionate about it and not so intimidated in the kitchen.
So do you find going raw that, I guess for most people, you would open up the spectrum to more fruits and vegetables?
And nuts and seeds.
Yeah, and I mean, as I say, the different varieties, the different stuff. So would you say that to being a conventional chef, is it easier or harder or about the same, as far as preparation?
There's preparation, and that's the key for all successful food preparation, is the time and being really organized in your kitchen.
Yes.
And I think it just depends on your level of skills and how much you've learned. Things definitely get easier as you go along.
Wow, I mean, it's incredible that somebody wants to jump in. So basically when you're at home, I mean, obviously not everybody wants to go raw, and it's not probably beneficial to go raw all at once or time of season. So to make a choice, so with yourself at home, does your family mostly eat raw, 100% raw, or they're just transitioning?
Transitioning, and my goal is not to be exclusive raw, it's to implement the raw food into our diet so that we're getting more from our fruits and our vegetables and our nuts and seeds, which contain more of the living enzymes than cooked food. But there is definitely a place for cooked food in our diets. We live in Canada, and we have cold winters, so we need the warm soups, we need the stews.
We do, but could you get the warmth from the food just by adding certain spices, and if so, which ones?
You could, definitely, and the warmth also, it can come from dehydrating your food, where you warm it up, but you're not heating it past 105. And that way you are keeping the enzymes intact. So the food, like I do a raw pizza, and it comes out and it's still warm. But it's just still alive, right? With the nuts and the seeds and the fruits and the vegetables.
Of course, and I think that's what it is. A lot of people, when the food has been so processed, when it kills all the enzymes, and it kills maybe in some cases the nutritional factors, in the food and things like that. So we think, well, I'm eating, but they're really not getting the proper nutrition that they need, because I think a lot with our bodies now, because our soil is, depleted and things like that. So if somebody came to you and said, okay, Diane, I want to start, what would be some staple items that you say you must have in your kitchen?
You definitely want a really wide variety of fruits and vegetables, and there's certain ones that you should actually purchase organic.
Okay.
That information is really out there with the Dirty Dozen with the fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
And you want good quality nuts and seeds.
Okay, yeah. So do you believe it's always better to buy organic, or it doesn't really matter?
It depends on the food
which
itself.
one it is.
Absolutely. With my berries, my strawberries and blackberries and blueberries, I definitely want them to be organic. Certain fruits and vegetables are sprayed more than others, are more sensitive to that herbicides and pesticides.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so I see that you brought some stuff.
I did.
Let's go. So, it looks like we're having a little party here, and you're all set up in entertainment mode. So,
I am.
Oh, it looks green.
It's green. If it's green, it's good, Brad. So what I'm going to give you here is, it's a barley green. And what's great about this is juicing is really popular now, and everyone's buying juicers because we know that when we juice our vegetables, not our fruits, but our vegetables, that we're really having a good quality living enzymes and high nutritional value. But who can juice every day? I can't.
Right.
And so this is a great alternative. If you can purchase a really good green powder such as I have. This is a barley one. This is a little deep for me to be doing this in, but I will sometimes just put it in my Vitamix quickly or in my Magic Bullet. But we'll just give you a quick little demo.
So do you find with that little mixer that's maybe better than just mixing with a spoon?
Yes, because otherwise you can get clumps.
I see.
Then who wants to have the clumps? You might get a few though. Sorry about that. But this is my grassy grasshopper.
Okay, perfect.
So this is an alternative to juicing. This is really high in 30 minerals and vitamins. And I gave you more than I gave myself, but you're the host,
Cheers.
so there you go.
Yeah,
Cheers.
so we'll try this. Yeah, it's actually not that bad, because I find sometimes, I guess for a lot of people, with green powders, they can be very powdery, they don't mix well, and things like that. So what would be the benefits of somebody maybe drinking this every day?
3 times a day.
3 times a day?
Absolutely. Really, really high in nutrition. There's no fiber, so it's easily assimilated into your bloodstream. So this is an alternative to juicing. Moving along, I did want to show you this too, because this is a real fun little thing. This may look, now I don't drink alcohol, but I love to have a nice faux wine, if you like. This is actually just a basic tea.
Oh, tea.
It's a tea, and I sweetened it with stevia. And I actually can take this and pour it into pop molds and give my kids popsicles.
Oh, that's amazing. So it's great that you can kind of utilize it.
It's simple.
And I guess some simple things too. You could probably, you could have, obviously this looks like red wine, so if you're at a party, you could have this and no one would ever know. But I think even if you added some fruit to it, it could be like a mock sangria.
Absolutely.
And you probably get the extra flavors and things like that, like make it up. So if you're preparing this, how long do you have to let it sit? Can you make it up right away and just drink it? Do you have to let it cool? Like, kind of what's the process for making this?
I just brew a couple tea bags in a small teapot. Once it's brewed, I put it in the fridge, cool it off, and then I sweeten it with some stevia. You can sweeten it with raw honey or agave, whatever you like.
And whatever works for you.
And mix it up. I can use my little green tool here, or I can quickly put it in the blender or mix it by hand, and it's ready to go. It's really simple, but what I like about it is that there's not a lot of added sugars or colors or things that we're finding in our sports drinks and all these other highly fructose drinks that are out there.
Exactly, and giving
It's
your body a
simple.
lot of extra sugar you probably don't need. So with the color that we have here, is that from the tea itself?
That's just from the tea itself. It's,
Wow.
it's a red raspberry tea. It's very simple.
And could you use any type of flavored, like if you want to maybe say you're not big on raspberries, but you love blueberries or strawberries
Sure,
or
of
something
course.
like that, you
Or
could
mix
probably
them.
mix it up and things like that. You know, probably a fun idea even too, like you said, popsicles. But what even about putting this in an ice cube tray? And
Great
making them
idea.
into that, then you can put it into your water or whatever you're drinking and just get some extra, I mean, or even make, I don't know, do the same, put little bits of fruit in it, so when it melts, you know, you could kind of have the raspberry mixed with a couple maybe blueberries or something like that, so as it melts, keeps your drink cool, but also gives you the extra benefit. You could probably even freeze some grapes or do whatever as well. So let's just, cheers to you.
Cheers.
I'm excited, wow. Yeah, it's very nice, it's very refreshing. I don't know if we should, like, you know, do and just a smell and say, yeah, very nice, robust bouquet. You know, it's very light without being pretentious.
That's right, and there's no
You know?
mistakes, Brad. It's so simple.
Yeah.
And you know, freezies are so popular this time of year, but they're filled with so many bad things.
So much, and it's loaded with sugar and loaded with that. Where this, it doesn't feel. It has a nice sweetness, but it's not so sweet that I'm like, oh, I just taste the sugar, you know,
That's
and
right.
things like that. And especially, too, because we're talking a lot on this show today about having a healthy lifestyle. We talked earlier about candida, things like that, that likes to feed off sugar and putting more sugar into stuff, where I imagine having a green drink, you know, it allows you to kind of detox a little bit, get the proper nutrients, and this is very refreshing. As I say, even if you put some ice with some fruit, add some extra fruit, put it in, maybe leave it overnight, you know, things like that. So let's just have a little bit more here. It's so
That's
good.
it.
It's so good. But as far as that, I think it's probably nice as far as preparation, things like that. So I noticed your lovely outfit here. So you're with the Skylark Trio. So I just want to kind of go, what's Skylark all about? How did it come about? And what do you do with Skylark?
I sing with a female trio, and we sing big band swing music from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. We work with a fabulous group of musicians. We can pare our group down to just a single piano player or with a whole orchestra. So we have a lot of fun. We choreograph all of our songs, and we tribute to the Andrews Sisters and a lot of other female trios.
And that's amazing, and probably for your audience too that love the big band era and things like that, they probably get a kick out of seeing you guys. And I imagine too, when you're doing Andrews Sisters, you're in full costume, full hair, full from that era, so people really kind of experience, you know, being there. I think for a lot of new people, the stuff is catchy. I think, what is it, like the Boogie Woogie, Bugle Boy. A lot of people know that and that sort of thing. Since we're at the dinner, how about a little dinner music? Do you mind just a little impromptu?
Absolutely.
Just something quick, a little ditty.
Sure, Brad. And you know, speaking of preparing and the whole costuming thing, and you know, working with you because you've done our hair at your studio, and you know, it's been such a treat to have the real authentic 40s look for that set. So I'm sure.
Even though we both weren't there the first time.
That's right. So go ahead and try my avocado pudding. This is made with avocados and carob, which is a great alternative to chocolate, because anybody who has a sensitivity to lactose would appreciate having the carob.
Well, and especially for me, because I am lactose intolerant, it's nice to have something that I can enjoy a dessert, but I don't have to worry about, you know what I mean? And also, too, having carob and having, you know, the ingredients that are in it, it's also pretty healthy as well. So what do you have on the top here?
I have a pumpkin coconut granola.
Oh, wow.
And it's very, very simple. Now, that one I did put in the oven for a few minutes just to toast the coconut.
So I guess and probably toasting it just gives it a little bit of extra flavor. But also, if you didn't want to, you don't have to either, if you want it completely raw and stuff like that. So I'll just have you join me here. So we'll pop them out.
Okay.
I'll grab you a spoon there, and then we'll dig in. So I have some little bit, and this is amazing. We'll just kind of go in there and just try. So what's your main ingredient? So what gets it so fluffy?
Putting it in the food processor.
Okay, and just spins it up and
spinning
things like
it out
that?
with some almond milk, and it just
Yeah.
the consistency. You can make it as thick or as light as you would like.
So it sounds like it's pretty quick and pretty easy to make. And it's probably
really
good for the whole family if you're entertaining. It's probably a nice dish that you can whip up quickly and things like that, where you don't have to go out to the store, get something processed and things like that, where it's nice, and it's probably also healthy and good for you as well. So I'm going to dig in.
And I'll sing for you. Gonna try my avocado pudding. Gonna tell me what you think.
It's truly amazing, Diane. It's so rich. You know, you can really taste the, I mean, is this even though it's carob, you would swear that it's chocolate. You know what I mean? You can't tell the difference. I mean, and it's probably one of the best I've ever tried, even better than something that, you know, even from the store and things like that. And it's kind of very light. You can really taste it. The flavor is really rich and stuff like that. But I notice you have some other little things here as well with the pudding. What are those?
Those are my power poppers.
Okay.
They're completely raw, and they're made from, I actually just whipped them up last night. I just experimented, so you'll be the judge today.
So with these, because they're raw, so obviously you don't need to cook them, then how do they solidify?
They come together, I roll them up.
Just like that? Okay.
I knead them a little bit, and I roll them up.
Give them a little massage.
I do.
And things like that. So with your Power Bites, kind of what's in them?
Okay, with this particular batch, I started with some rolled oats.
Okay.
I added in some cashews, some pumpkin seeds, goji berries, some dark chocolate, coconut oil, a little bit of sea salt, vanilla extract, and an almond, raw almond.
Wow, that's amazing. Just for the little bites. So basically, I see one has coconut and one doesn't. So is one a different one, or is just one has coconut added?
I just rolled a couple in unsweetened, raw, shredded coconut.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, and that kind of mixes it up a little bit, kind of makes it a little bit more presentable, so so everything doesn't look quite the same.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna, pop one of these in. So with these energy bites, how much energy are they going to give you, or you just pop one or two?
Well,
obviously, you wouldn't eat a whole dozen of them.
You know what's great about them is that you can put them in the freezer and just take them out before you want to serve them.
Yes.
And anytime you feel like you just need a little something, a little treat, they're perfect, but they are really, really high in nutrients. So they'll give you the energy that you need to carry you through. So 2, 3.
Okay, so with these, could I just make them ahead of time and pop them in the freezer?
Absolutely.
And they'd be great. Okay, so I'll try one here. You can really, the texture is really nice. You can actually kind of taste the ingredients, kind of each one and stuff like that. That's incredible. These are so good. I'll have to take some home with me.
They're simple, Brad, and that's the key to living a healthier lifestyle is we have to make it simple.
Yes.
We can't be, of a mindset that it's going to take a lot of time and be a lot of work, or nobody's going to actually be able to invest the time to do that. So let's make things simple. Let's make it fun. Let's package it up pretty.
Yes.
And those are, we do start to eat with our eyes, right? So
exactly.
We need to,
exactly. Well, thank you, Diane, for coming. Our time has just went.
It did.
Like that. Thank you for entertaining. Thank you for feeding me. I want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching today's episode, and we'll see you on the next show.